Today we're making a pumpkin monster tree that'll look perfect in your Halloween decorations. This pumpkin monster is 6.5 feet tall and made entirely out of expanding foam and PVC pipe. So join me for this awesome tutorial. To begin building our walking creature, we need PVC. And for this project, we're only going to use one size, and that's 1.5 inches. Buy yourself 2 pipes at 1.5 inch size. I'm also listing all of the lengths that I'm cutting in the description below. So if you just want to go there and see them, you're more than welcome to do that. So let's break this down. For the neck, we're going to be cutting it at 8 inches. For the shoulders and arms, it's a combined one piece. It'll be 44 inches for the left arm, 44 inches for the right arm. For the spine, it's going to be cut at 17 inches. For the hip connectors, we're going to cut 2 pieces at 1 3/4 inches. For the left leg, we're going to cut 37.5 inches, and for the right leg, we're going to cut it at 36 inches. Now, if you cut that, it'll be much easier to start making this project, because next is assembling it and starting to bend some of the legs and some of the arms. Now, we need 2 of these right here. These are 90-degree, 1.5 inch connectors. We also need 2 cross PVCs that are also size 1.5. So once we have all this, we can get started on our project. So this is what it should look like once you finish one of the arms. As you can see, it's a singular piece that's been bent in several different areas. This is going to be the right arm. And it's much longer than my arm, but you want that creepy, sagging look. So just bend where you think the shoulder will bend into the arm. See, super simple. And then do the same thing for your elbow. And lastly, I bent it ever so slightly for the wrist. So when you put this on, it'll have this kind of bendy look. And the cool thing about this is that there's no right or wrong way to do it. Bend it as much or as little as you want to give the look that you're going for. I only bent it slightly here, but it's enough to give it a cool look. Again, you could use a 90-degree elbow right over here, but then it'll be kind of boxy, and I don't like that look. And since we're going to be covering this with foam, I thought this way was a whole lot better. So we're gonna do that to places such as the spine, the legs, and even the neck. You want to bend all of those to give it a more natural or creepy look. You don't want it to be stiff or boxy. So let's get to bending. I wanted to take a moment to share with you all the newest children's book I've written. It's called Oliver and the Lost Flame, and it's a Halloween story based on a young pumpkin named Oliver and his quest to save his town after their enchanted flame was snuffed out, leaving the town of Pumpkin Patch in disarray and afraid. This book is rated for children 3 to 10 years old, and it's available on Amazon via paperback. The book is also available internationally and has been printed in English, Spanish, and French. So if anyone wants to support me or read it to their kiddos, go check it out. And this is what we're left with. This is after I've used the heat gun to bend the elbows and the knees. I've bent the neck, but these are all the cuts you'll need. And it's super simple. Once you've got the cuts, then you can start bending it in places that you want. There's no right or wrong. You can go higher, you can go lower, but I just wanted to show you how it looks like before we start putting it together. All right, so now it's time to put everything together. I normally use PVC Cement, which will permanently bond all the pieces together. Now, I know I've already bent the legs and the arms, the neck and the spine, but you could actually do it after you've put all of these pieces together. You know, in fact, it would probably be a little bit easier once it's all one solid piece, but I decided to do my bends before. But like I said, whichever method works for you, let's do it. So we got all our pieces. Let's start applying PVC cement, putting it together. So I haven't glued these pieces together, but I wanted to show you the stance that I'm going for. It's a walking sort of slow stance that this creature is going to have. And since I want it like this, I need to be careful how I'm gluing everything together. So you need to get it like that, then put some glue in here, then immediately put this in and ensure that your stance is still good. Because, like I said, this thing hardens super quickly. You have 2, maybe 3 seconds. You want to make sure you have the right angle going. That's why I said that maybe for you, it'll be easier to glue everything together and then start bending, because I sometimes do things the hard way. And in hindsight, it's probably easier to bend everything once it's been glued together. And this is what it should look like once you glue it together. As you can see, it has a walking stance, and this is what we wanted it to look like. The arms are much longer than the rest of the body, which gives it a lanky, creepy look. And like I said before, it is much easier to do this when you glue everything together on a flat surface. So lay all the PVC pieces down and connect them so it's just a flat surface. And then start bending it with your heat gun. And this is what it'll look like once you put it in your yard. As you can see, it's standing up really nicely, and that's because we use something awesome called Rebar. Now, if I take this up like that, you can see that we've put 2 pieces of rebar. These rebar are 2 feet long, and we drive them into the ground at a relative same angle as these. This one's a bit different. So we put it like this, and then we bend the pipe a bit, and bam, we put it in there. So this is what I do with all my props. I always use rebar on the inside of the PVC. But if it gets windy, we might need to give this extra support. And that's why right in the middle, we have the cross tee with an opening where we can drive another rebar into the ground, a thicker one, which will hold it steady like this during windy or stormy times. I always use this method, and it always does great results. Now we're going to start doing the fun part, which is putting expanding foam. We need to use the brand called Loctite. Gaps and cracks. It's this red bottle here. Shake it really good, it says for about 60 seconds, and then we're applying some regular just boxing tape right over here. We're applying here to create a sort of ledge so that the foam doesn't just go falling everywhere, because we need to beef up his legs. So we're going to apply some here, and once we do that, we can add more tape or move on to something else, but the tape definitely just helps act just as a shelf like that. So what we're going to do now is try to smooth out this skin. Now we could use a knife, and we will use a knife to cut off these areas that are really bumpy, but I'm going to try something else. We've done the Loctite, it's dry. We're going to apply another layer of Loctite, a thin layer. We're going to spread it like that, and then immediately spray it with water. Spray it with a healthy amount of water. Wait 2.5 to 3 minutes. After that, let's start squishing it with our hand to try to fill in these gaps and valleys to make it less bumpy. So let's try that out. Now we'll grab our sprayer that is filled with water and really make sure you get every single part of the foam that you just poured. Make sure you get it misted with enough water. If you do not get water on the foam and then we try to squish it, it's going to stick to our hands and make a gooey mess. So it's important that you remember where you placed it and then spray it very generously. You wet your glove and then start pressing. And you should not be getting any foam on your hand if you wet it properly. So we're doing this to try to give it a less bumpy surface. This is still going to expand some, so that's why we don't want to put so much of it, because it's still going to expand after we squish it down. For the feet, we're just going to be putting foam up and down over here. No particular fashion. Just want to connect it up like this. For the hands and the fingers, we're going to be using 12 gauge wire, and and we're gonna stick it through the foam that's already dried. The 12 gauge is just perfect. So you stick it in there like that. You can stick however many you want. You could even do it 5 for an entire hand, but I'm doing 3. And then we're going to get our masking tape. You can use 2-inch or 3-inch masking tape. You get a piece about the size of the wire, and you're gonna put it right behind it, just like so. This is just offering something for the foam can land on it. Now, once you do all of them, we're going to apply our Loctite foam on top of it. And as we've done before, once we apply it, spray it with water, ample amounts of water. Wait about 3 minutes and then start squishing it down so you can form the fingers a little bit better. We're gonna just gently squish all of this down, and we can wrap it around the tape that we placed, just like this. And just like that, we bring everything together nicely. So pat it all down until you're satisfied with the look of it. For the creature head, we're simply going to be using a jack-o'-lantern. Now, I always carve my jack-o'-lanterns from foam pumpkins, and they sell these foam pumpkins at Michael's. They sell it at other stores, but I always get them from the store called Michael's, and I always get them when they're 40 or 50% off because you don't want to pay whole price for these. I made a tutorial on how to carve these foam pumpkins, how to do any type of face you want on these jack-o'-lanterns. There should be a drop-down link right up here. Click it. Go see how I do these foam jack-o'-lanterns. So once we do that, once we carve the face, which is super simple, we're going to get a pendant light socket and an LED flame effect bulb. I list everything I use in the description below, so go check it out. We're going to put it inside, then we're going to attach it to the top of our creature, and then we're going to start putting expanding foam around it to give it some branches or maybe some horns, something like that. So let's get to it. To give it added detail, we're continuing to add our wire and our tape. Super easy to do. Just cut pieces of wire and then put tape like this right on top of it. Then, like we've been doing, we're going to spray Loctite in there, spray it with water, let it rest for 3 minutes, and then start scrunching it together. You can add as many as you want. I think the more the merrier, so we're just going to keep on adding it until we feel we're satisfied with the look. Look, there's something I found out while doing this, that it's much easier to mold these if you allow them to rest longer. So normally the 3-minute rule is perfectly fine. You spray it with water, let it rest for 3 minutes, and then you can mat it down. But I find that sometimes it's not completely moldable yet and it's sticky, and as soon as you get that foam on you, it's game over. So what I've done is instead of leaving it for 3 minutes, I'm leaving it for about 7 minutes, even 8 minutes. But first we spray it with water. Then I waited about 8 minutes, and then it's so easy to mold and move. But another thing is your hands need to be wet. So constantly spray them with your water bottle or dip them in a little bucket of water. Make sure your hands are wet while you're molding these. And you'll find out if you wait about 8 minutes, it'll be much easier to mold them and then do whatever you want. So why did we use the wire? First, for support, but also you can adjust it to whatever shape you want before it dries completely. So you do it like that, you do this, you twist it, make sure you wrap it nicely, and we're good to go. So for smaller projects, 3 minutes are good, but for something like this, let's wait 8 minutes. So right here on the arm, we've applied foam again because we want to smooth out the texture and not make it so bumpy. So we waited 8 minutes for this one after we sprayed it. We'll spray our hands, and then before we start working on it, spray it again. Got it? Then, without a glove, we can even just pat it down like this. And it's so much easier to work with. Then make sure your hands continue to remain wet, and then just start patting it down, getting rid of all of the bumps that are underneath there. And look, we get nothing on our hands. So I really like the method of waiting longer before continuing with it. Now listen, this is going to continue to expand. In a couple minutes, come back, press it down again to maintain the shape, because otherwise it's going to become bulbous and deformed. So you need to be on it for a couple of minutes to make sure that it stays the way you want it to look. So now we're going to start painting our creature. I'm going to use a dark brownish paint as the base, but we're going to use a lot of grays after it dries. We're going to be using gray, light gray, some greens, and let's get to it. I'm going to be using a paintbrush and exterior latex paint.